Okay, good morning. So, welcome to the Unearth a Story Summer Reading Training for 2026. My name is Tammy Kruger. I'm the literacy specialist here at the North Dakota State Library. So, we're going to talk about numerous things having to do with summer training or summer reading training this year. First of all, is the College Save program through the Bank of North Dakota. So basically, the College Save program is set up to give money for kids for school, for higher education, right? So it's a 529 program, and libraries can go ahead and easily enroll people in it. Registration will go out in May. We will have an informational webinar with Bank of North Dakota in April, most likely. You can participate anywhere from in the States. $10 goes into the funds that are already established for kids birth through senior and high school. $25 go into new accounts. Basically, how that works is that they receive a link in the email. So let guardians know to check their emails if they signed up for this, because sometimes those links get missed. Additionally, there will be 10 students across the state who will win $529 into their accounts. So how that basically works is that when I ask you as the libraries for a list of your participants who took part, in your summer reading, I put all those names into a spreadsheet based off of as regional as I can get, but also as evenly number as I can get. Send that off to the Bank of North Dakota, and they pick 10 names, one from each region. Okay. So this just kind of talks a little bit about how those scholarships work and how they're selected. So yeah, I go ahead and send that stuff out, and then the Bank of North Dakota will provide a media release as well to, let your communities know, and then we'll put things out there here. And then it just kind of talks about how, 10 participants will get that 529 and $25 go into one kids who already have accounts, and $10 go into new accounts. And Bank of North Dakota will send out like informational stuff that you can share with your patrons about that as well. So basically, you get to decide what qualifies as having finished your library program when you send me those lists of participants. We don't check up on it. That's up to what you feel. But we do want to get free money into kids' hands for higher education. So please do take advantage of this. Okay, so here is going to be the template that I will send out to everyone who registers. This template can also be found on our summer reading LibGuide, which we are going to look at a little bit later. But yeah, it's basically just, information about the kids, their contact information for parents, stuff like that, which library they come from, things along those lines. Okay. Are there any questions about that before I go on? Okay. I don't see any. All right. So in that case, we will get on to Beanstack. All right, so Beanstack is a program to be able to track reading, essentially. So every month, at least one new reading challenge is uploaded. And as patrons go through and do these challenges, they get little badges, basically, as a hurrah, you passed on this. There are some ongoing challenges as well, such as 1,000 books before kindergarten, 500 books before middle school, and 100 books before graduation. I can go ahead and create custom challenges for your libraries as well. Basically, what I'm going to need from you to be able to do that is what you want to call your challenge. So give it a name, the ages you want to participate in your challenge, what dates you would like the challenge to run, the type of challenge you want to do. So you can either log minutes read, number of books, you can do a bingo challenge, an activities challenge, or you can do specific books. I know some libraries have liked to do that one book, one community kind of thing. At the state level, we've noticed that number of minutes or number of books tends to go over the best because it gives users the most flexibility in what they choose. But go ahead and experiment with different things with your library. And the other thing I'm going to need is images for the badge and the banner. I can either create those or you can send me things, but if I'm going to create them, then I need to know basically what you're looking for. Okay. So, how Beanstack works for patrons is that they go ahead and register for a free reading program, and then they participate in reading and they complete activities and they get those badges, and then their progress will be recorded throughout. Now, we're going to quick look at that. All right, so to get to Beanstack, you're going to start at our website at library.nd.gov, and you're going to go to Programs, which is under the Patron tab, and then there's our Beanstack right there. So this is this one isn't, no one's logged into it, but this is basically what you're going to see. So these are some challenges that are offered up, just kind of generalized. So we have those 1,000 books before kindergarten, 100 books before graduation, 500 books before middle school. And then we have the Love of Reading, which is a Beanstack challenge that's running through February here. And then we have the 40 book challenge, which is our year-long challenge for 2026. So for the Love of Reading, this one is about logging minutes. Okay. And so you get up to, I believe it's 250 minutes for this. This is for all ages. You get little badges that are associated with like love and Valentine's Day and stuff like that. And then for your 40 books, this is about logging, 40 books over the course of the year, but also logging different genres. I can't remember off the top of my head if it's 10 or 8, but that just kind of adds a little bit to the challenge of that one as well. So when it comes to registering for Beanstack, people can either register as an individual or as a family. So I'll go ahead and just say no to that. Okay. So they can either say that they're registering themselves or they're registering and they're an adult registering a child. The family feature is a newer thing to Beanstack, which is nice because it puts everyone under the same account that's within that same household. And so when they go ahead and click that they're registering, they just fill out some contact information, all that kind of things. And then whatever Beanstack challenges are for their age groups is what will be available to them on that landing page. Okay. Any questions before I move on from Beanstack? Okay, so our next thing here is going to be our LibGuide for summer reading. So again, if we're on our website for the state library and you go to LibGuides in the upper right-hand corner. Oh, yes, you can see me. Good. In the upper right-hand corner here, that will go ahead and take you to our LibGuides. Please explore these. We have lots of really cool information here. But if you go to programming and you go to summer reading 2026 Unearth a Story, this will have all the up-to-date information about summer reading on it. So like it talks about, what our theme is for this year, and it gives you some information about CSLP. This is where you can go ahead and request the code to be able to get virtual manual access. This talks about when we had our training events in person. It talks about the Bank of North Dakota and the College Save program, upcoming reading themes. This is kind of the go-to on things. Okay, and this is also where you'll be able to find a copy of that template for the Bank of North Dakota reading participants. I will email these out as well, but just letting you know they're in there. So this is the CSLP website. They have all sorts of information for you here. Of course, some information about CSLP itself, summer reading resources. So like we've got the summer outreach toolkit here and the libraries and summer food program, professional development, things like that. We have program and themes, and then membership questions and things like that. And then, of course, we have our manual access. here's just different information about that. If we actually look at the manual itself, so this is kind of the breakdown. So we have program details, the full manuals, if you want to go ahead and look through that, additional resources for it by chapter, by material type, and then the graphics. We'll go ahead and look at the graphics. So this is where you're going to find like templates for PowerPoints, clip art, Facebook banners, printables you can go ahead and use, program images as well, and posters. And if you have Canva templates here. Okay. And then we have by chapter as well. So it starts out with the manual index, and then we have chapter 1 is Dino Play, chapter 2 is Fresh Dirt, chapter 3 is Digging for Information, chapter 4 is Paleontology, chapter 5 is Archaeology, chapter 6 is Celebrating America 250. So if that's something, because I mean, of course, that's the big thing this year, right? You know, and so if that's something that you even want to pull out for other times during your year, please feel welcome to. Chapter 7 is partnership programs, and then chapter 8 is printables. Okay. We also have the store here, where you can go ahead and order swag. They are estimating about a 2-month wait time at this point to get things ordered from the store. But yeah, we've got all kinds of things. We've got the browsing bags. We've got a handful of different types of shirts. We've got posters, bookmarks. There's a little, let's see if I can find him. They have, nope, that's not it. Okay, that's fine. They have a mascot this year. His name is Digsby. He's right here. Digsby has a little stress ball, which I think was very nice. But yeah, all sorts of things that you can go ahead and pick up for swag there. Okay. Are there any questions before I continue on? Okay. Okay. So, the components we kind of talked about a little bit. There's your chapters. Okay. I just pulled some ideas from the manual. Of course, you don't have to use these. I just thought they were kind of interesting, I guess. So adopt a dino, passive programming. Basically, you just put out little toy dinosaurs throughout your library. Kids can find them, and then they can have little adoption papers for them, give them a name, stuff like that. Dino Olympics, minute to win it games. Dino duels, where kids can go ahead and create trading cards. And so in that case, the dinosaurs are given some sort of name. They're given, kind of points in their powers, basically. Some other ideas, fruit and vegetable stamping. This is a good one for toddlers or preschoolers. Blooming poems, so those origami paper fortune tellers. I remember those as a preteen and teenager. Pet rocks, of course, is a pretty easy one to pull together. Journaling our community history. If this is one that's great if you're kind of stepping away from the sort of dinosaur theme as well. Food and family history. So bring a food or recipe to share that represents your family. Dinosaur family fingerprints. So basically for that one, you put ink on a finger and then you put down the print and then you draw a dinosaur around that print. Fun with fossils. Making fossils using noodles and Play-Doh. This can be done with a wide variety of things. It can be done with toothpicks. It can be done with Q-tips, stuff like that. Dino grid painting. So that is to kind of help with the proportions of everything because the picture is gridded out, and then participants would copy the parts of the grid for it. Jurassic Spelling Bee is another option. I would not do well at that one, but you probably have some patrons who would really enjoy that. Pottery puzzle hunt. So in that case, there is a picture of a piece of pottery in the manual that could go ahead and be cut out into smaller pieces. And then it is recommended to create kind of a site for them where kids have to dig up those pieces, right? And then they put the pottery back together. Cookie excavation. Go ahead and find the chocolate chips from a cookie. And how do archaeologists do things like that? Write like an Egyptian, use hieroglyphics and create secret messages that way. For celebrating America 250, underwater fireworks, patriotic sun catchers. What state am I? The what state am I think would be really interesting for like throughout the year. So if you were to just put, information about different states out, and then patrons can go ahead and guess of who it is, or which one it is, excuse me. The American Revolution Engagement Resource Center also has some library resources. So yes, so this is the story.org. So this just has different information that you can go ahead and use in a library setting for that 250. So I would encourage you to go ahead and explore that if your library does want to take that route. Okay, here are some things that were pulled from the manual. This is a new component this year for small and rural library friendly activities. I just grabbed a few. Like there's I think 15 to 20 of them listed. Dino play is one of the things where it's just a scavenger hunt of dinosaurs. Fresh dirt, you just use stones and markers and you go ahead and dig and make those pet rocks. Digging for information. So family game night doesn't even necessarily have to be themed around this, right? But it's just the idea of getting people together in that community engagement. Okay, some other ideas pulled from social media. So we have make your own dino feet using tissue boxes, paint, and foam. Layers of the earth pudding cups, and wash the dinosaurs as a sensory activity. We have dino shadow portraits where you just have a dinosaur be put up and then patrons go ahead and trace around the shadow and they can color it in and make designs and all that. Glue resist dinosaurs, or really this could be used for any fossil. And then also dinosaur egg bath bombs. Okay. Do we have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to share about what you want to do for summer reading this year? Okay. See none. This is my contact information. Please reach out with any questions you have about anything about the Beanstack or the College Save programs or the Bank of North Dakota or just this CSLP stuff in general. If you want to go ahead and have a little bit of a soundboard, feel free to reach out to me. Okay. Anything else? All right. In that case, thank you so much. Have an awesome day and stay warm. Bye.